Malachi, you're back.
Just landed.
Are you alright? What did the doctor say?
Lots of bruising, but there's no permanent damage. Don't fuss.
Malachi, you were in the hospital in Spain for a week. A man who evaluates antiques for a living should not have to worry about getting beaten by thugs.
The chest Senor Perez was trying to sell was a fake. It's hardly my fault he took my evaluation badly.
You need to take security on these jobs. Some of these sellers are dangerous people, and you excel at pushing people's buttons.
I'm honest, and that's precisely why my clients hire me. Is there any urgent business?
I have a few things to fill you in on. Let me know when you've had a chance to settle in.
My suitcase. I can't forget I have my passport in the pocket. Gretchen Stern, my shop manager. She's efficient and intelligent, very good at what she does. Unfortunately, she can act overly familiar at times. I don't need mothering, or girlfriending, or anything for that matter. We should catch up on what's been going on while I was away.
Let's do it.
You said in your email that you've been looking into security options?
I made a list of the reputable security agencies in New York. You should have a bodyguard travel with you. With the money you earn on these assignments, you can afford it.
No, they'd only get in the way and be tiresome. I prefer to travel alone.
Fine. There are other options.
What other options do you have for security?
I've been researching security agencies in various international cities. I can set someone up when you travel, have them meet you at the airport.
I can't trust someone I've just met. How could I be sure they weren't already bought off?
These are reputable agencies. You have to get over your trust issues.
No other brilliant ideas about security?
I have a report on where to buy guns in various countries. It's not a very good option, but it's better than going into a bad situation unarmed. And maybe the mere presence of a gun will remind you not to shoot off your mouth.
Gretchen.
I mean, give your fascinating opinion quite so freely.
All right. Maybe we'll try that next time. So what's the next assignment?
You just got here. You probably haven't even been to your penthouse yet.
That wasn't the question.
Fine. There's a supposedly undiscovered Rembrandt in Rome for Sotheby's, and 2 pieces in Egypt for Rutherford's.
Take them both.
Malachi, you just got out of the hospital. You should let your body rest, at least long enough to get used to a time zone.
With the economy in the gutter, there are a lot of desperate people right now. Desperate enough to sell Grandma's Harrington or create a good forgery. I might as well make the money while I can.
You're driving yourself too hard. Your body needs...
What my body needs is no concern of yours.
No. Thanks for reminding me. There was also a new client who called. Something about a government contract.
Who is this new client?
Amble Dexter, 452 Central Park West. He wouldn't say what it was about, just that he needed someone with your expertise.
If he wouldn't even say what it's about, then it's not worth my time following up.
Well, it is a very upscale address, but do as you please.
That's all for now.
Very well.
A gilded Jerome figurine. Quite rare. Nothing. That's extremely odd. It's an unusual name, but there's information on everyone on the internet. Unless it was intentionally scrubbed. That man is not your average security guard. He looks serious. I'm here to see Amble Dexter.
Your passport, please, sir.
He doesn't look like the type I can manipulate. I'll take my passport with me. Gretchen's desk is more cosmetic than functional. She does most of her work on her tablet. Here's my passport.
Welcome, Mr. Rector. You can go through to Mr. Dexter's office. Use the elevator, sir.
Thank you.
Ah, Mr. Rector. What a pleasure to finally meet you. I've heard about your remarkable talents.
Which I presume you'd like to rent in the near future.
Precisely. Please, come in and sit down. This is Mr. Reichart, my associate.
Mr. Rector?
Hello.
Before we discuss the job that we have in mind, I hope you won't object to a simple exercise.
Oh? I'm afraid I left my performing monkey hat at home.
Please don't take it like that. I think as a historian, you'll find it quite fascinating.
I'll think about it. That button operates the doors. That photograph certainly helps one keep an eye on the big picture. I wonder if that's why Dexter has it there. The flag bears the logo I saw in the lobby with the initials FITA. What does it stand for? Dexter's desk is designed for easy wheelchair access, but it's much like any other beyond that. He keeps it tidy. Reichart looks like the agency type, a ruthless little paperworm. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's an interesting quote. Must have particular significance to Dexter. Dexter is the man in charge. I'll address myself to him. Amble Dexter. He appears to run this place, whatever this place is. What is this exercise you mentioned?
Take a look at this man. Tell me if he reminds you of any specific person in history.
I read objects, not people, and this exercise is illogical.
Humor me, please. I've heard you have a photographic memory and that your knowledge of history is beyond compare. I'm intrigued.
I'm not sure what Dexter hopes to gain from this exercise, but I am curious. I prefer to work on my phone. I'll scan in the man's bio. Is this a joke?
Not at all. What do you see?
His biography reads like that of Raffaello Sanzio d'Urbino, the 15th century painter better known as Raphael.
You do not disappoint, Mr. Rector. Such a pleasure to finally meet you. Truly, I'm delighted.
Wonderful. Now perhaps we can discuss the job you have for me. I still don't see the point of that exercise. A modern man happens to have a similar life story to a famous painter. What of it?
Indeed. Its relevancy to us needn't concern you. All we ask for is your expertise in making the historical connection.
Do you have a job for me, Mr. Dexter, or not?
I do. The job is in Venice. A young woman of wealth and high birth was murdered there a week ago. Her name was Bianca Cardolo. I'd like you to go to Venice and investigate who she was, and do what you just did so magnificently. See if she reminds you of any historical person. That is all.
I don't investigate deaths. Hire a detective.
We're not looking for her killer, only the facts of her life. A brief biography, if you will. And for you to document any connections you draw to any figure in history. Perhaps there will be none. That's acceptable as well. You get paid $20,000 to $30,000 for your work for the auction houses. I'll pay you $50,000. It should take you no more than a week. What say you, Mr. Rector?
I might be interested, but first I want to know why you're keen on this particular woman, and what the point is behind these comparisons to people in history.
I'm afraid any further information is classified at a high security level.
I'll take the job.
Excellent. I know you won't disappoint me, Mr. Rector. Speak to the guard in the lobby. He'll give you your plane tickets. And Godspeed. I very much look forward to hearing your report when you return from Venice. I'll forward the relevant information about Bianca Cardolo to your phone.
Very well. Goodbye.
Pass through the scanner, sir.
Mr. Dexter said you have plane tickets for me?
Yes, sir. Have a good trip, sir.
Thank you. Before I head to Venice, I should make sure I've taken care of any urgent business at Rector Antiques. I've taken a job for that new client, Amble Dexter. I leave for Venice today.
Oh, God. Why am I not surprised? Well, I'll hold down the fort as usual. Good luck.
Thank you. There's nothing else I need from my suitcase at the moment. The chair's more modern than the rest of the furniture, much more comfortable that way. I'd rather stand. I sit far too much when I'm traveling. The desk looks good and is functional, but it doesn't have a particularly interesting history. The bleak economy seems to be all the newspapers can talk about these days. It's a letter from Mr. Barozzi, an antique dealer in Venice. He has a brilliant eye for interesting pieces. He's a little quaint. He insists on sending snail mail. I'd like to see what Barozzi's found. Perhaps I'll be passing through Venice sometime soon. Looks like I've taken care of everything here. I should head to the airport for my trip to Venice. I don't use my computer like I used to. Everything is on my phone these days. I'd rather use my phone. I started a dossier on Bianca Cardolo based on the information Dexter sent me. I should start there. I should call Detective Brunetta. Some of these could have hundreds of matches, but I'm only considering historic people I think fit the general circumstances.
Pronto, Detective Brunetta.
Buongiorno. This is Malachi Rector. I need to speak with you about the death of Bianca Cardolo.
I was told to expect your call. Meet me at 425 alla Due Colonne. That's the site of the murder.
Thank you. I'll see you there.
Mr. Rector, it's a pleasure to see you. Welcome back to Venice.
Thank you, Signor Barozzi.
Did you come about the figurine? Let me know when you're ready to see it.
It's a protester. They're thick as flies in the city. Signor Barozzi, might I have a word?
How can I help you, Mr. Rector?
How is the antique business in Venice these days?
How good can it be with this global recession? Italy is drowning in debt, and the protesters keep even the tourists away. In all honesty, I have never seen conditions so desperate.
Fortunately, there's always a market for luxury items. The rich get richer even in a downturn.
How can you say so? The EU is about to collapse. There are terrible days ahead for everyone.
I don't believe it's as bad as all that. The press love to fearmonger.
I am afraid it is that bad. Unless we can find some brilliant leadership to steer the world out of this mess, things look very black.
Well, I hope I am standing here in a year, and you can tell me you were wrong.
So do I.
Did you know Bianca Cardolo?
Why, yes. That is, I knew who she was. She even came into the shop one time. Her murder is incomprehensible.
I'm looking for information about her.
I didn't know her personally, but I'll tell you what I can. What do you want to know?
Was Bianca Cardolo wealthy?
Oh, yes. Both her birth family and her husband's family are extremely wealthy. There's no doubt about that.
I see.
It's none of my business, but why are you interested in Bianca Cardolo?
Her story caught my eye, that's all.
I can't blame you. It is a terrible thing. Oh, Mr. Rector, such a crime does nothing to help the city's morale. We could all use some good news, eh?
Tell me about Bianca Cardolo's husband.
Dante Cardolo. You know, he is from the Capetian family, just like Bianca's father. But they are distant cousins. He was very popular in Venice. He could have gone far in politics. But his support of the EU at any cost has the common people very angry. Only time will tell if his political career survives. If indeed Italy survives.
Thank you for the information. Tell me about Bianca Cardolo's family.
Ah, well, you know I love Italian history. Her father, Signor Antonio Savoy, is from two of the most noble Italian families, the Savoys and the Capetians. The Savoys, as you know, were the royal family in Italy up until World War II.
Interesting. If you learn anything new about Bianca Cardolo, please contact me.
Absolutely. I would be happy to.
I'd like to see the figurine you mentioned in your letter.
See. Here it is. Take all the time you need. I hope you'll find it to your liking. I know your taste is excellent.
We'll see. That's all for now. Thank you.
As you wish.
An interesting piece, if genuine. I should analyze it. The figurine is an excellent find, Senor Baruzzi. It's a 12th century Lewis Chessman piece. The British Museum and the Museum of Scotland each have part of the collection, so we might be able to get them to bid against each other. Marvelous. Can I assume our usual split?
Of course. Oh, that is good news. Should I have it sent to your store in Manhattan?
Please do. Oh, and insure the hell out of it.
Of course. Thank you. I'm not ashamed to say I will be glad for the money.
That must be Detective Brunetta. I wonder how Amble Dexter got the Italian police to work with me. There's definitely more to this than Dexter was willing to tell me. Are you Detective Brunetta?
That is correct. Mr. Rector?
Yes.
I've been told to answer any questions you have about the death of Bianca Cardolo. I can't say I understand why.
Well, I'm glad to know where you stand, Detective. Let's get started, if you don't mind. Tell me about Bianca Cardolo.
She was a popular figure in Venice. Everyone knew her. She was even named the most beautiful woman in the city several years ago. The public wants her killer found, and so do I.
Tell me about Bianca Cardolo's murder.
We know she was followed while walking home from a concert. She ran. The killers caught up with her here where we're standing. They hanged her from this bridge.
Sounds familiar. In fact, I read that much in the papers.
I can't read your mind, Mr. Rector. If you have questions, ask them.
Were there any witnesses?
None. We checked every residence in the area. No one admitted to seeing anything.
Was she robbed? Molested?
No, Mr. Hector. The postmortem shows no signs of rape. As for robbery, her purse fell into the canal and we retrieved it. Nothing was taken from it. Her jewelry was also left untouched, including a diamond ring worth more than I make in a month.
She was walking home from a concert alone?
That's right. She went by herself.
Do you have any leads on the killers?
No. We found no physical evidence. Nothing.
Tell me about the Cardolo family.
I have the feeling you know better than I.
I really don't.
She comes from a very distinguished Venetian family, and her husband, Dante Cardolo, is an important man in local politics. They're above reproach, and also innocent, in my opinion.
It's always good to know your source. You won't mind telling me something about yourself?
That depends on what you want to know.
Do you know the Cardolo family personally?
I'm not a part of that high society, even if I have the time to have a social life, which I don't.
This is a high-profile case, isn't it? You've been working on it around the clock.
That's right. Never lets you go, a case like this. And what is your stake in it, Rector?
That's none of your concern.
Have it your way, Mr. Rector.
You've been a detective for a long time. 20 years at least.
That's right. Someone told you about me?
Your experience is obvious.
I will take that as a compliment.
You said you were told to answer my questions. Can I ask by whom?
You don't know?
I'm not in the habit of asking questions I know the answer to.
I was told it came from a mayor's office. You were hired by Signor Cardolo, perhaps?
I can't tell you who hired me.
I see. I suppose I'll just have to keep my guesses to myself.
Those are all the questions I have, Detective.
Good. Arrivederci, Mr. Hector.
Arrivederci. Bianca ran from the killers, and they caught her here. It's probable that this location was random, but not the public hanging. Her death was meant to be noticed. There's nothing I need to access on the other side of that bridge. The police thoroughly swept the bridge for clues, and I don't see anything unusual about it. Pardon, Signora. May I have a word with you?
Yes? What can I do for you?
The old woman must own that rundown house. They're a matched set.
Yes, Signore. What can I do for you?
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Malachi Rector.
Buonasera, signore. I am Caterina Falone.
Is this your home, Signora? It's lovely.
Ah, grazie. It's been in my family for 4 generations.
I noticed that you seem nervous, Signora.
You would be nervous too if unspeakable things happen just outside your front door. I do not wish to talk about it.
I would like to speak with you about the murder, Signora.
No, I'm sorry. I won't speak about that. I already said as much to the police.
But I am not the police. You can talk to me.
I don't know you, signore. And it is too terrible to talk about. No.
Thank you for speaking with me, Signora.
It was a pleasure to speak with such a fine gentleman. Arrivederci.
Come in, Mr. Rector. Please, sit down.
Thank you, Signor Condelo. I'm sorry to intrude at a time like this.
I've been asked to speak with you, and that request came directly from the U.S. Embassy.
Impressive.
What interest does the United States have in my wife's murder? Do you think it was a terrorist act? Why would they want to hurt Bianca?
I don't have the answers, Signore. I'm still investigating.
Very well. I've already been over everything with the police a dozen times, but I'll do what I can to help you.